Yai dai lai 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 yai da dai la da dai yai dai 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 yai da dai da da dai yai dai da dai 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 yai da dai 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 da da dai da da dai da dai 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 yai da dai da da dai yai dai 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 yai da dai da da dai yai dai 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 yai da dai da da dai 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 yai da dai 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 yai da dai 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 da da dai da da dai da dai 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 yai da dai da da dai yai da dai da da dai yai da dai da dai 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 yai dai da da dai yai da dai da dai 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 yai dai da da dai yai da da dai yai da da dai yai dai 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 yai da dai da da dai yai dai 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 yai da dai da da dai 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 da dai 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 yai da dai 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 da da dai da da dai da dai 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 yai da dai da da dai yai da dai 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 Al hanisim ve'al hapurkan ve'al hagvurot ve'al hatshuot ve'al hamilchamot she'asita lavoteinu vayamim hahem bazman hazeh Al hanisim ve'al hapurkan ve'al hagvurot ve'al hatshuot ve'al hamilchamot she'asita imoteinu vayamim hahem bazman hazeh Al hanisim ve'al hapurkan ve'al hagvurot ve'al hatshuot ve'al hamilchamot she'asita lavoteinu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh Al hanisim ve'al hapurkan ve'al hagvurot ve'al hatshuot ve'al hamilchamot v'imoteinu lavoteinu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh Yai dai 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 yatai dai 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 yatai dai 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 yatai dai 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 yatai dai 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 bayamim hahem bazman hazeh.
We come together tonight for our service of Hanukkah and Shabbat, and it is wonderful to be with everyone in person and everyone online. You know, this is, I think, the perfect day for Shabbat and for Hanukkah together because it's freezing outside, and it's dark, and it's cold, and we need warmth. And what, if not anything, is Hanukkah and Shabbat but just warmth and joy and beauty? So let us take a moment now to cast off the shiver. Saul, you are allowed to take off your coat and stay for a little while, as my mother would put it. Do what you need to do to be able to cast off the coldness and the darkness that binds us down so that we can lift up into the warmth and beauty and joy of Shabbat.
Hanerot, hanerot, hanerot halalu, hanerot, hanerot, hanerot halalu, anu madlikin, hanerot halalu, anu madlikin, hanerot, hanerot, hanerot halalu, hanerot, hanerot, hanerot halalu. מדליקים, הנרות הללו אנו מדליקים, הנרות הללו אנו מדליקים.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Ina Horn, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to Anshe Emeth Memorial Temple. On this Shabbat Hanukkah, we light two sets of candles for two very different mitzvahs, yet the end result is the same. A match is lit, a flame is kindled, and darkness recedes. May the light of Hanukkah enlighten your homes and warm your hearts, and may this holiday be a time of hope, joy, unity, and peace. Now, on this cold, cold night, let us feel the warmth of Shabbat as we invite Jenny Frace to the bima, she's here, to light the Shabbat and Hanukkah candles and lead us in the blessings. Shabbat Shalom.
We have a new one. They're just trying to confuse me tonight. Okay, we're going to start off with the prayer for the Hanukkah candles.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, betzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim la'avoteinu ve'imoteinu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh.
This was my first time ever lighting a Hanukkah. No, I didn't like
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We join together for Lecha Dodi on pages 20 and 21.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela shamor vezachor beribor echad ishmianu אל המיוחד אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד לשם ותפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקרם נעשוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה רב לך שבט במקבך והוא יחמו עלייכם לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי מהפקרתי קובי שביתי תפארתך על יד בן ישי בית הלך מקורבה אל נפשי גאלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייכם לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לא תבושי ולא תקלמי מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי בך יחסו עניי עמי ונבנתה עיר עתילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תעריצי על יד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We continue on page 26 with Chatzi Kaddish.
יתקרל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי בהמליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחייר כל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולם מעלמיה.
יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ויאמרו Amen.
We rise in either body or spirit for the Baruch Hu on page 28.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai-dai-da-dai, yai-dai-da-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai. Yai-dai-dai-dai, yai-dai-da-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai-dai.
We continue together on the bottom of page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv Arvim.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו למדת. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו למדת. Day and night show us the way, teaching us to number our days. When we rise and when we lie down, Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chokim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemadeta. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chokim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemadeta. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it's been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Nes gadol haya sham, nes gadol haya sham, nes gadol haya sham, nes gadol haya sham, again nes gadol haya sham, nes gadol haya sham, nes gadol haya sham, nes gadol haya sham. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'edar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot osei fele, nora tehilot osei fele, nes gadol haya sham, nes gadol haya sham, nes gadol haya sham, nes gadol haya sham.
The top of page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. לו 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 אבותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל, ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל. וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים. צומק נופלים ורופא קולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ונאמנת להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני וחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue now with Tfilat Halev, the personal and private prayer of the heart, either using what's on the pages in front of you until page 63, or more importantly, using the words that are inscribed upon your hearts.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו Amen.
I've got to admit, Hanukkah is one of my favorite holidays. Have you ever noticed how my favorite holiday is whatever holiday we're in? think one or two of you have picked up on that. I love Hanukkah for a couple of different reasons. The message of Hanukkah and what it symbolizes and stands for has changed dramatically over the years. If you were to look at the book of the Maccabees, either the first, second, third, or fourth ones, you won't find them anywhere in Scripture, by the way. They were cut from the canon by the rabbis, mainly because it went against the miracle that the rabbis preached about. Nowhere in the book of the Maccabees will you find anything about Judah Maccabee finding a pitcher of oil that lasted for 8 nights. What you will find is that the Hasmoneans, and Mattathias in particular, was not a big fan of Hellenized Jews, Jews that were looking to assimilate with the rest of the world. By the way, if any of you are interested, we are all, for lack of a better term, Hellenized Jews. And we celebrate Hanukkah for 8 days because that was the first time we could dedicate the altar and be able to celebrate Sukkot, which is 8 days long. In the book of the Maccabees, it talks about the festival of light singular combined with the festival of booths. And then every year thereafter, we would have a holiday of a festival of light singular for 8 days to commemorate the Hasmonean victory over the Greeks. By the way, the miracle of the Hanukkah lighting, of the dedication of the altar, was when they poured nephtar. That's the Greek word that they use in the book of the Maccabees, nephtar on the altar, and nephtar in the desert sun ignited spontaneously with maybe just a little flint. Nephtar, by the way, is, I believe, petrol. Lighter fluid tends to have that kind of feeling when you put it on a hot rock. But that was our miracle from there, was that we were able to carve away from the Greeks our little home and to be able to have an island. Of course, the rabbis were not big fans of the original message of Hanukkah, which is why they cut it from the canon and wrote in the book of Shabbat, my Hanukkah, what is Hanukkah? And then they went into this long story about Judah Maccabee and the oil and the miracle for 8 days, all the things we do, and a miracle is born. In fact, we sang Al HaNisim earlier today, which is the prayer that we add into the Hoda'ah prayers that talk about the miracle that God gave us. There's one other holiday for bonus brownie points, for first dibs at Oneg tonight. Anybody know the other holiday that we sing Al HaNisim on? Not this version of Al HaNisim, the other holiday is mentioned in there. When else do we add in Al HaNisim for the Hoda'ah prayers? What other holiday? Purim, you get first dibs at cookies, Saul. By the way, which 2 holidays in the original story don't mention God at all? Purim and Hanukkah. But the rabbis wrote this prayer about the miracles that God gave us. One could be, let's say, jaded by this new narrative and cast it off and say, what is Hanukkah for me then? Or you could see how it evolves and see the beauty of how it evolves and what it's evolved into. A time for spending moments with family and remembering that there is nothing more important than the closeness and the warmth of family. That wonderful moment when kids are running all over the house, but then all of a sudden it's time to light the Chanukiah, and they all come together, and you've got this wonderful moment of singing and candles and lighting and memories that will last a lifetime. And then to see your kids at some point lighting the Chanukiah with their kids is another moment of great renewal. And Hanukkah becomes this moment where we realize that Judaism has transferred down the generations, and generations and generations and generations have lit the Chanukiah, going all the way back. There's also this interesting duality. I grew up with Peter, Paul, and Mary. And what is the number one Hanukkah song with Peter, Paul? It's the only Hanukkah song they wrote. It's the only folk Hanukkah song that I can really think of in American culture, which is Light One Candle. And there's this interesting duality in the song Light One Candle, which surprisingly enough we're going to sing in just a minute. There's this duality between don't let the light go out, the sense of preservation, right? The Hasmoneans fighting for this is what we believe Judaism is, but also the rabbis trying to instill this is what Judaism is, and making sure that our children light the candles too, that we don't let our tradition go out. But on the other hand, there's that we need to light it for something, right? We need to light it for strength. We need to light it for inspiration not to become our own foe. We need to light it in honor of those that are suffering so that we can fight against their suffering and free them from oppression, right? It's not just that we're doing this because we have to, because we can't let the light go out, and because, well, we've got to because we're Jews and they suffered, so we need to keep doing it. But it's purposeful. We're doing something for this as well. There is great darkness. There's great cold. There's great struggle amongst us. And when we want to go to bed early because it's dark and it's cold, and we are just tapped out, this is the moment in the year when we light candles to remember we can't tap out. That's not what Jews do. Our purpose is to add light into a dark world. And we do it through making sandwiches for Elijah's promise. Or we do it through hosting the gentleman for the homeless shelter down the hall. Or we do it for cooking Christmas dinner for 300 people at Elijah's promise over the weekend. And we do it in our pursuit for social change. Right? Tikkun Olam is not just putting Band-Aids on problems in the world. Tikkun Olam is about changing the world to match the world we long for it to be. It's about doing justice work. It's about changing the narrative of which we come to the table with, right? It's about acknowledging, and you'll see it in the Peter, Paul, and Mary song, it's about acknowledging that there are great problems in society, and quick fixes don't fix those problems. But how do we work together, not becoming our own foe, but changing society so society helps protect everybody, the vulnerable in particular. I asked the kids at religious school on Tuesday to think of one thing for every day they could do to add light into the world. And for those 24 hours that they had to be dedicated, like the root word for Hanukkah, that they need to be dedicated to doing those things in the world. They came up with kindness, of feeding the hungry, of giving tzedakah, of not wasting food, of recycling, reusing things. Things that kids in the religious school can do. So I ask you tonight, as we sing Light One Candle, to think of the things that you can dedicate yourself to. And because we only have 2 days left or 2 candles left, you're going to have to make those commitments last a year until you can renew them next year with another batch of Hanukkah candles. What are the things that you can do, that we all can do, to help bring light into a dark world?
We join together on page 367, 367, with Light One Candle. Light one candle for the Maccabee children. Give thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. Light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in. Let anger not tear us apart. And light one candle to bind us together with peace as the song in our heart. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly that we keep alive in that flame? What's the commitment to those who have died when we cried out they've not died in vain? We have come this far, always believing that justice will somehow prevail. This is the burden, and this is the promise, and this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out. Don't let the light go out. Don't let the light go out.
Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach once again. Just a few quick announcements before we conclude our service. First, Wednesday, January 4th at 11 o'clock is our next Lunch and Learn with Rabbi Miller, where we'll be bringing in Rabbi Or Zohar all the way on Zoom from Israel. We'll be talking about Kabbalah and the power of Kabbalah in our lives. Then, on January 4th that evening, is our bereavement group. It was a revised date to January 4th at 6:30. And then, lastly, our first Shabbat dinner of the year is Friday, January 6th at 6 p.m., and dinner follows it at 7. Please remember to RSVP. At the conclusion of our service, we're going to be joining in the lobby for Kiddush Motzi and Oneg, because we've given up our space in Lippman Hall for the homeless shelter and make them feel nice and comfortable. So we're going to be out in the hallway to the right instead. And if you would like to volunteer for our men's homeless shelter, they'll be coming back in a couple of weeks. If you can volunteer, we'd love the help in making sure they are all protected and have what they need. You can reach out to Maurice Rosenstrauss or Elise Roth to let her know or let them know that you can volunteer. On this Shabbat Eve, as we join together as one congregation to celebrate creation, the joy of life and living, we turn our thoughts to those in our community for whom life has become precarious because of health or hospitalization. O God of healing in our hearts, we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers together with the prayers of those who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen them the healing powers you place within us all, and guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and their families, and may they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu hu yivarechet hacholim, refuat nefesh u'refuat guf, hashta'a b'ga'alav zman kariv v'nomar. Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless those in need of healing. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, as together we say, Amen.
El narefanala, el narefanala, el narefanala, el narefanala. Misha berach avotenu, hu yirapeh et hacholim. מקור שכינה לאמותינו, היא תמצא מזור לסובלים. רפואת הנפש והגוף, רפואה שלמה. אל נא רפאנה, אל נא רפאנה, אל נא רפאנה. El narefanala, el narefanala, el narefanala.
We continue together on page 282 as we rise near the body or spirit for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 285. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד.
It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those we loved, cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss, for each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world. and each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one, whose life now ended brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. We name now those whom death has recently taken from us, those whose families are observing the Shloshim. We remember Daniel Tsu, father of Uri and Stephen, Linling and Hansdale, and grandfather of Naya and Kayla, Esther and Louisa. And remember Dr. Joel Goldsmith, companion of Sarah Wasserman, father of Michelle and Jonathan, and brother-in-law of Lanny and Lee. And we remember Tef Landis, husband of John, brother of Mickey and Linda, Mark and Carol, Alan of blessed memory and Linda, Diane and Jeffrey, and Eileen. We also remember tonight Doris Darer, wife of Joseph of blessed memory, mother of Michael and Barbara, Sue and Mark, and grandmother of Jeff and Sarah, Eric and Adam, and great-grandmother of Roxanne and Cyrus. And on this Shabbat, we also recall those dear ones who died at this season in years past, and whose names were recorded with love in our service booklet this evening. Their names are forever bound to our hearts and are permanently inscribed throughout our building. If you're joining us tonight online to say Kaddish for a loved one, I invite you to say their names aloud at home or type their names into the chat on any of our streaming services so that we can lift up the names of your loved ones with you. And if you're here in person to say Kaddish for a loved one, I invite you to say their names as I look around the sanctuary. And tonight is also the yurtzeit of Rabbi Nathaniel Keller, one of our previous senior rabbis. In honor of Rabbi Keller and all those we mourn and loss, we will rise as one congregation together. Yitkadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chai echon v'yom echon, v'chayei d'kol Beit Yisrael, b'agalav v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei d'kudesha b'richu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechamata da miran v'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlam araba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and may we be a comfort to all who are bereaved, and let us say amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimeru amen. We close our service this evening with a little bit of a festival song, Mi Yimalel, found on the screen or on page 364. We rise. Mi Yimalel Ruot Yisrael Otan Mi Yimnei Hein Bechol Do Yakum Hagibor Goel Ha'am Mi Yimalel Ruot Yisrael Otan Mi Yimnei Hein Bechol Do Yakum Hagibor Goel Ha'am שמע בימים ההם בזמן הזה, מכבי מושיע ופודה, ובימינו כל עם ישראל, יתאחד יקום להיגאל. מי ימלל גבורות ישראל אותן מי ימנה, אין בחדו יקום הגיבור גואל העם. מי ימלל גבורות ישראל אותן מי ימנה, אין בחדו יקום הגיבור גואל העם. שמע בימים בהם בזמן הזה, מכבי מושיע ופודה, ובימינו כל עם ישראל, יתאחד יקום להיגאל. מי ימלל גבורות ישראל אותן מי ימנה, אין בחדו יקום הגיבור גואל העם. מי ימלל גבורות ישראל אותן מי ימנה, אין בחדו יקום הגיבור גואל העם.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I've never seen that before. Yeah.
That is very
Isn't
cool.
that cute?
That is
Yeah.
ingenious. That keeps lighted right on the side. Wow, that's brilliant. The things that excite me in life is really scary.
And my presumption is just like the sandpaper that you can just like change it when it's
No,
done.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, these are the matches that you could strike on anything. You see how they have the different colors? You could strike this on your pants. You literally can. I don't want to do it, but
That's a little scary.
no, they had, no, it's a kid. They had, you see how it has the different colors?
Yeah.
It's half of it's the flint and half is the regular match part. So
Oh.
of course we got him and we was like trying to strike him on everything. I'm 90% sure that those are, one day when no one's
That
gonna
might
try.
be why it was more difficult to.
I think it might be
shake
the wood.
it out.
I don't know.
Like,